Have you been watching NBA games lately and thinking, wait, what team is that again? You're not alone, because ever since Nike took over the NBA's uniforms, the game has looked a little different, especially when they wear those City Edition uniforms. Today, I'm unpacking how Nike's billion-dollar innovation play has slowly spiraled into a full-blown identity crisis, one questionable jersey at a time. By the way, I'm Derek, the marketing point guard. On this channel, I break down sports, culture, and marketing with the same vision you need to run an elite offense. If you're into smart takes that go beyond the highlights, go ahead and like, subscribe, and drop a comment, and share with someone who actually still thinks the City jerseys are fire. All right, back to the point. When Nike took over the uniforms in 2017, the hype was real. Because let's be honest, Adidas had left the game on a weird note. I mean, we're all still pretending like those sleeve jerseys just never happened. So when Nike stepped in with the promises of innovation, new energy, and a design-forward approach, it felt like the league was finally back in the right hands. So the big question is, how do you create new revenue streams without stripping away the tradition and heritage that made the product so valuable in the first place? Nike started by replacing the classic home, away, and alternate designations with new categories: association, icon, statement. Their intent was to rewrite the playbook. Teams were no longer bound to location-based jerseys. If they wanted to wear white uniforms on the road, they could. In addition to that trio, they introduced the classic jerseys, earned edition for teams that made the playoffs, and the City Edition threads. Now, honestly, teams have so much jerseys, they need an entire load management plan for the launcher. And the biggest problem, the City Edition uniforms were supposed to be a creative outlet for teams to connect with the city's pride. However, they have devolved into an annual obligation where they simply check the box. After 8 years, teams are already grasping for inspiration. Indy's latest set claims to honor the city's mural scene, but it looks like somebody just hit the spray paint icon on Microsoft Paint and called it a day. And how many more times can San Antonio reinterpret the Alamo? Most of the teams are punting on creativity altogether and just going with some clean white-based designs. It's currently a hot-ass mess, but it hasn't always been that way. And it hasn't been this bad. So let's give credit where credit is due. The Miami Heat's Vice program was a certified classic. For 4 years, they inverted their designs. Neon pinks, powder blues, whites, blacks. It was stylish, but also strategic. They built an entire identity around it. Vice themes courts, merch collabs. It was more than a jersey. It was a campaign. They had fans buying court rugs, hoodies, and even license plates. Miami turned neon nostalgia into a brand ecosystem. But should they be expected to strike lightning twice? Their next big effort was the Heat Culture City Edition set. And let's just say the heat on those got turned all the way off. The culture joints were so mid that they went back to the original Vice designs last season. Because when something works, you don't reinvent it, you build on it. The Lakers had a similar journey. When the program first started, they didn't even call their jerseys City Edition. They labeled them Legend Edition, a tribute to the franchise's iconic players like Magic, Kareem, Kobe. The crown jewel of that set were the Black Mamba jerseys. They went back into the archives and rocked these during the 2020 finals run after Kobe's tragic passing. They were emotional, powerful, and now historic. They meant something. But instead of staying in that lane, they veered hard. This year, they dropped the Lake Show uniforms, and they were so disliked, the team ultimately stopped wearing them mid-season. They even thought they might be cursed. When the Lakers, the NBA's most iconic brand with the most legends to pull inspo from, choose to bench their jersey, that's not just a bad look. That's a branding failure in 4K. Now listen, this isn't just about fashion or creativity. This is about what happens when sales targets outpace cultural meaning. Fans don't wear jerseys just because they look good. They wear them because they mean something, because it reminds them of a moment, a player, a finals run, the city they rep with pride. But when you redesign everything every year, nothing lasts long enough to matter. The production timelines alone aren't worth it. Before you can truly capitalize on a winning design, you're already building the next one. It's like dropping a hit single and then immediately scrapping that album. It's an ironic mishandling of the exclusivity model that Nike has notoriously spearheaded. Nike knows better than anyone. The retros spark the hype, but the new drops, that's when you need to build loyalty. Honestly, the final straw for me was the NBA Cup. Nike in the league doubled down, by creating these egregiously colorful courts based off City Edition designs. Instead of adding value, it created chaos. It's not helping build equity in the cup or the jerseys. So what is the point? Now, Nike has the reach and the NBA has the history. The real question is, can they stop chasing the next high long enough to remember what made these uniforms iconic in the first place? When the Lakers play the Celtics, they should be wearing the same iconic jerseys that they wore in the battles of the 80s and the 2000s. Those matchups aren't just games, they're chapters in league history. Bridge the gap between the old fans and the new, without leaving anyone feeling like a stranger at the party. Players move teams enough as is. If you want to build team affinity, this constant branding whiplash is just not the move. Instead of the Bulls wearing jerseys inspired by a sign outside the stadium, let's see them rocking the iconic red and black jerseys that Jordan wore. That is the kind of connection the city can rally behind. If you're into this kind of storytelling, where marketing meets real talk, hit that like and subscribe. Drop a comment too if your team's ever worn a jersey so bad you actually questioned your fandom. I'm Derek, the marketing point guard, helping you see the floor a little bit clearer every week. Catch y'all next time.